Hello Ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to an Ark Survival Evolved Community Crunch Roundup. Every single Tuesday I give you the heads up what's going on with the Community Crunch and any other gossip and news going around Ark. This week is a little bit interesting. There are some very tiny little clues that Ark Survival Evolved are indeed working on new content. Now this shouldn't be a surprise, they have said this in previous live streams that they are going to be working on new content. We don't know what that new content will be, whether it's going to be DLC or it's going to be season passes, but the community managers have been teasing a few people on social media and they have mentioned it a few times in this post. Today's post is a little bit light on big features, but it does have a lot of info about their input section. They basically set up on their forums where people could put suggestions and it would be upvoted or favorited, so that the idea being everyone's best suggestions, or the one that had the most views, the most likes, would get maybe a reply. We're going to go through some of them as well. They've listed a few here and they've actually answered why or why not they can't implement some of the suggestions. The Easter event is finishing today. In fact, it's probably finished by the time you've seen this video, or you may only have a few hours left. If you're playing on a private server, of course, you can enable it so you always have the Easter event if you so wish. You can do that in your settings. They're still running their competition. You can still find the link for it on the forum site and go and enter your egg painting competition. So their social roundup, where Said basically puts a few choice tweets or messages from the forums in the actual post here, just listing what's being replied. One of the biggest ones that they've constantly actually said they're not going to be working on in the last year is Scorched Earth Ascension. It does make sense. We've got Ascension for Aberration, we've got Ascension for Extinction, and obviously we've got Ascension for the main game, but we don't have an essential credit screen for Scorched Earth. Now this actual post lists a whole bunch of back and forth about what was said in the Explorer notes, through the story and the lore. But ultimately this is what they've said. While I agree a Scorched Earth Ascension would be epic, I don't want anyone to get their hopes up here. Ascension cinematics use a ton of team resources for months and for the company. The story is complete for SS Ascension and cinematics, and boss fights are amazing, but it'd probably be better to invest those resources elsewhere on other content. So there you go. Once more confirming something that I've spoken about in the past, there is no Ascension coming for Scorched Earth. It was promised by the lead creator Jeremy Stieglitz, but it looks like that is never going to be happening. Highlighting a few things to do with the forums, basically you get more reputation or you get more reactions if you've got more rep on the forum. So if you're someone that comments a lot and you're always given pretty good rep for your comments, you'll have more choices in what you can do, and they're going to add maybe poll functions to the website. So if you're creating something for your community or a page, or you just want to get some more feedback, you'll be able to do that soon. Said is possibly working on seeing how long it's going to take for you to get a response when something goes wrong. If you lose your dinos, your character gets lost in transfer, you always have to kind of just wait, and like this guy here, he's been waiting for 3 weeks. Well, Said has said they're working on that to see if there's a queue system and whether or not they can actually show where you are in that queue. And something that's actually been wrong with Primitive Plus for God knows how long, like over a year, 2 years maybe, I don't think they've ever worked really, is supply drops not spawning in on Primitive Plus. Said's apparently still working on that, but there's no nailed down confirmed date of when it's going to happen. Maybe hopefully in the next update. Now one of the things that I suggested was add more features for mobile. Mobile is a bit of a joke for some people, but a lot of people really are enjoying the mobile game, and it does have some really unique features. It has quests in it that you can go on, complete missions. It's got a whole load more to do with being able to track your dinos and much better minimap. Jen has said that Ark Mobile is really separate from PC and console, but they do some cool stuff, so maybe not seeing any Ark Mobile features come to the main game too soon. So game suggestions wise, you create a post and people will vote on it whether it's popular. One of the biggest ones is separating PvE and PvP balances. Basically, the Managama is probably the best example. Everyone knows that in PvP it was so OP they had to bring it down a little bit, but that made it very much a utility dinosaur in PvE and not really worth your time. A lot of people talk about the flying nerf in the past as well, how that affected mostly PvP, which I do disagree on. I think the flying nerf was needed. It became way too easy just to go and get whatever resources, whatever you needed very quickly, even in PvE. But this one has got the most votes, 94. And I hate to say it, but I agree with Loaded Crisis, the clickbait king. Actually, that's not fair. He's not the clickbait king. We all know who the clickbait king is now. On a serious note, this is the kind of stuff I'd love to see Loaded Crisis cover more in his videos, talk about the changes needed for Ark Survival Evolved, but not do it in such a clickbait way. He said new dinosaurs TLC but refreshed every few months. It's not exactly an original idea. I think we've all said we want more dinosaurs and more TLC coming, and that's what we should be getting. Only getting one patch every so months or every 6 to 9 months, it really isn't good enough. In fact, the last Homestead update, really thinking about it, the biggest update before that was the last TLC update, and that was nearly a year before. But we're going to dive into this a little bit more. So Jen, one of the community managers at Ark Survival Evolved, has said this in a few tweets, talking about when she was in high school, Game of Thrones, everyone gathering around talking about it, and then just this, there's something super fun about enjoying something together in person. Reminds me of the feeling I get at game conventions. Speaking of which, it's been too long since Ark has done a convention. Hope we do get to see one again soon. And someone else replied, don't we need a sort of announcement or new product or multiplayer tournament or super cult following to justify doing a game convention? And Jen has put a questionable face. Now again, this really shouldn't be news. We know they're working on content, they just won't tell us what that content is. I brought it up in my Ark vs Conan Exiles 2019 video, go and check that out if you haven't seen it, where Conan Exiles really has mapped out all the content they've got coming, more or less. They've spoke about stuff in live streams and they've got their DLC plans in place. Whereas Ark Survival Evolved has been out a good few years, yet we still know nothing about any content coming this year, and it's already about to be the 5th month. Wildcards just really haven't been doing a very good job of letting people know. They clearly don't want to overhype stuff, and that's okay, but they should have some sort of roadmap, some sort of way to tell the community what to expect. Right now there isn't much going on until June. Now that's only really 5 or 6 weeks away by now. That's when I expect to see some big stuff going for Ark Survival Evolved. The last few conventions, obviously they haven't had anything to show us because they really haven't been working on stuff. But it does look like E3 is going to be the next reveal of something I'm hoping is really going to be special and actually works. After that, they've got Gamescom coming up in August, and that's really not something they've done too much on. They launched Xbox, I do believe, version of Ark at Gamescom. They announced the trailer for it, and that was when they suggested it was going to be coming out in December that year. That was way back in 2015. I could be wrong on that, maybe they launched the whole game, but definitely there were some Gamescom trailers going around. But E3 is definitely the big one, and if they've got brand new DLC that they're going to charge money for, or if it's going to be free content, I expect to see that drop in at E3. So well done Captain Obvious, Loaded Crisis, new dinosaurs and TLC is a good idea, but it's not going to be the way you think. I really don't see Ark Survival Evolved adding real free content anymore. The only stuff we may see is a brand new map, like modded map like Valguero or maybe the other ones. But in terms of dinosaurs, they've shown they're not really willing to add new creatures unless it's part of paid DLC. We haven't had any new creatures unless it's been part of Aberration or Extinction. The last time we had a new creature, I do believe, was the Phoenix. And that was for Scorched Earth, once again, a paid DLC. So there we go. That is what's going on with that. Between now and June, we've got 6 weeks to bear with it while the clickbait art tubers mention and talk about possible content coming. To be honest, I don't mind some of that. As long as it never says official, I think it's great to talk about what you want to see in the game. So let me know what you want to see in the game. What do you want to see in part of DLC coming in the future? Next vote was wipe official servers. Maybe not such a popular one, although you'd be surprised, it's obviously number 3 out of all the suggestions, and it has got the most replies, so really a hot topic. The decision not to wipe progress from early access, I really think went against them. I think it really was going to be the best way. Although you've invested hundreds of hours, maybe thousands in Ark Survival Evolved, giving everyone a fresh start when it launched out of early access, when they also made millions more and millions more players came and joined, I think that was the right thing to do. Because they didn't do that, it's always been a bit disjointed. New players jump on and have seen so much build up, so many creatures, so many huge bases, it can be really daunting, stopping you from going any further in the game. I don't necessarily think a complete official server wipe, but it would be cool if they could add something to maybe just get rid of a lot of the big tribes. Or maybe just keep announcing new server groups so that these are brand new fresh servers and there's not necessarily massive game mode changes to them, it's just fresh servers. Now Sed did reply on this, as he has replied to some of these top ones. We avoid wipes at all costs, or try to. We realise our fans have poured many hours into their survivors and would hate for that progress to be thrown away. They've experimented with game modes and different types of servers in the past and will continue to get new ideas. A widespread wipe is not something that's currently planned or being considered. If you want that, maybe go and play Apocalypse servers. Now after that, there's definitely some real good suggestions, and I think they probably could do with a little bit of shining light on. Make griffins and wyverns breedable. I don't necessarily feel like wyverns need to be breedable. Getting the eggs is a game mechanic, and it's pretty hard, and that makes it enjoyable, something to do. But maybe they could do something similar with the griffins. I love this one though, some simple changes that would go a long way for console Ark. Pretty much the list of everything that everyone moans about on console, including me. The biggest one is graphical setting options. Why can't console players turn off the god-awful light shafts? It is ridiculous how bad they are. The shadows and bloom quality is also really bad. I don't think they really had it on PS4. I'm pretty sure they didn't have the light bloom or the light shaft adjustable, but you could use commands to change this. Now Xbox has got mouse and keyboard support. PlayStation, you can plug a keyboard in for certain games as well and it works. Why can't they have mouse and keyboard for console? I'm not so sure that's that important, but some people really like to use mouse and keyboard. The rest of the comments are pretty good, but I don't necessarily think they're maybe the most important, but certainly graphical changes I think are definitely needed. It seems like such a simple thing to be able to change how light the blooms actually affect your eyes. I'm going to vote that suggestion up. There we go, number 48. Now some of the other stuff is pretty much pie in the sky. New DLC suggestions, Sky Rulers. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to get some crazy DLC. Let's just hope it works, unlike the Extinction DLC. TLC Pass 3, yeah, that's what everyone really wants. There's definitely lots of dinosaurs that need redoing, maybe changing their abilities or giving them something a little bit extra, as well as maybe their looks. I think more people would actually settle for having their console gameplay look pretty decent. On Xbox still, it's still got Origami Dinos. Ever since Extinction came out, you just can't look at your creatures very well because they generally turn into triangular, glitchy, pixelated creatures. Now this is one that Sed has spoke about in the past. Implement Prim Plus items to regular Ark. He put a form out where he just said, what do you guys want to do with Primitive Plus? Should we integrate some of the items into the main game? Should we treat it just like a complete separate mod, but it won't receive updates in the future? There was lots of suggestions by him and he hasn't really come back. That was a good few weeks ago now, so it'll be interesting to see where he's going with it. So I'm going to upvote that one. Now some of the other smaller ones are things like Revive Survival of the Fittest. It's something that I thought they would have been working on a very long time ago. It felt right that it was the right time, but we've seen with lots of battle royales how they've died a death. It would definitely have to be done really differently from what it was before. Fact was, it just wasn't succeeding on PC. As popular as some people believe it to be, it didn't have the numbers. Maybe that's down to because the development just wasn't updating it enough, but regardless, it was dying. A lot of PvPers want duos and trios and tiny servers, i.e. only having solo or duos, etc. That could be interesting. I thought about trying that out as a private server for my patrons and loyal subscribers. Maybe just having PvP but only one-man tribes. A lot of these votes end up becoming the same sort of stuff, just worded different. But yeah, you get the point. It's all gone a bit low and it's all gone a bit repetitive. But it's still a great idea. I really think they should keep this up. Don't censor what people put in. If someone has listed a bug and it is getting loads of upvotes, you need to pay attention to it. So that's a community roundup in terms of feedback. They've got some info about what mods have come to the mod program roster on May the 1st. Remember, this shut down for about a month and a half, basically for them to assess what ones are going to be in it. And these are the new ones being added. You've got Ark Eternal. Now I've played this mod, it's quite fun. It just basically makes some crazy ass dinosaurs. They can have all sorts of crazy colours. Their looks, the cosmetic side of them changes as well, and they've all got different abilities. It's always run a little bit behind mods like Anuki Genesis and stuff like that, but it's been around a long time, so I'm pleased to see they've got some recognition for all their hard work. A new one which is pretty interesting, and I think I might take a look at this, is Ark Settlements. Build settlements, gather resources, and make the Ark feel a little bit more alive. We believe this mod will make a great addition for single player and low population servers especially. And Dino Patrol is an old mod, but it looks like they've finally given it some love and some money. Don't forget, these guys get around $4,000 a month to work on their mods. This one adds basically start and stop points for creatures, so you can literally have them patrol. It'd be really good for NPC stuff. I think it would go well with the Ark Settlements as well. So they're the three that are currently listed as the brand new ones. I may take a look at the sponsored mod program in a smaller little video, just highlighting all the mods that are actually part of it, as there are many more. And that is it for the Ark Roundup. As usual, lots of hype coming in around Ark Survival Evolved, possibly in June. During E3 we're going to get a big reveal, probably of some paid DLC. And hopefully Sed is taking notice of these suggestions and we will start to see some stuff happen get implemented properly, what the community want. So no community section today, but I did want to show off something by Lee Amarukan, basically one of the developers at Ark Survival Evolved. He's a senior VFX artist, and this is some of his work that he worked on as part of Ark Extinction. He done this for 9 months. I think he's still working, like I said, and it's just interesting to see what different types of things the developers do and what they work on. So he's responsible for all the lighting effects, I'm guessing, and it really is a good job. Like, definitely Ark has got some fantastic visuals in it for sure. There are lots of games out there, indie games, but some of them just don't come anywhere close to what Ark can do when it's working properly and it isn't all pixelated. So fair play to Lee. I hope this helps him maybe get even more work. Maybe, I don't know how it works with them, but definitely some props for all his hard work and making Ark look amazing at times. I am JPG. I'm going to be giving you more Ark and more Conan every single day. I'm starting up a second channel, just an FYI for anyone that's interested, and that's going to be the main focus of my game news, opinions, as well as trailers. I've had a bit of hype around Conan Exiles. It went free to play on the PS4 if you hadn't already gathered, seen so much of it on my channel over the last few weeks. And it made me really think about what you guys want to see more. And overall, from the analytics, it really shows that you guys want more Ark news, more Conan news. You also want more gameplay. Not necessarily always Let's Plays, but definitely taking a look at different features in Ark Survival Evolved, as well as some of the other big survival games. So JPG is going to be survival. It's going to be survival news, it's going to be looking at new survival games, as well as taking a look at some of the best ones around. And my second channel will still have really good takes on open world games, battle royale news, as well as just loads of cool new indie stuff happening. But that's what's going to be happening, so stay tuned for that next few weeks. That's going to be up and running. My second channel is going to be set up with someone else, as I want to partner up with someone who can help me run content on it. So yeah, expect more Ark content, expect more Conan content, and just any real decent survival game. If you want to support the channel, go and check out my Patreon links. They're in the description box down below. For just $1 a month, you get access to my Ark and Conan servers, and you're just supporting me making this a reality of keeping you guys informed about Ark and survival games in general. Ad is over, you can wake up. Until next time, rat bags, I'll see you later.